Good morning, world. Your minds and them foul shot. I'm reporting on the Bamboozle Again News Network, right? With a little Monday reality check slash motivation. 'Cause I don't know how you get motivated unless you're able to deal with reality for what it is. And sometimes, to be honest, reality sucks, but you get better at it. And this is just about how the word talk about patience producing endurance, or how the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, but the one who endures until the end. And how I was thinking about how it's created with me. Because, like, when I was young, I used to be real long when I run around all day long, get black. They got to pull you in the house, you know what I'm saying? And I just want to go. Like, being long winded, like, socially, that's why I think another aspect of why I fell into, like, substance abuse, because it seemed to dumb me down so I get along better with others. So then my parents or whatever wouldn't be so concerned about me having these I guess, negative interactions with other folk. Just naturally being myself. But I was thinking about how, like, with me, right, today marks 4 years in sobriety, recovery, whatever you want to call that. And I was just thinking about my journey from when I went back in yesterday. Yeah, 4 years ago. But to get my mind right, I drank some beers or whatever. So March 10th is actually my clean date, as they call it, right? And I'm just thinking about the journey, you know what I'm saying? Now, normally it take you 4 years to graduate college, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know if, like, I guess there are levels to it, like Meek Mill. But I was thinking about how I created this spiritual long-windedness, you know what I'm saying? The ability to endure, even though I get frustrated, I have my human emotions and feelings. But I tend to stay the course as far as what I know to be right. And I was just thinking about how, like, in reference to David, whereas though after he dropped Goliath, and then Saul got jealous of him or whatever, then he had to take flight. From my research, Saul was chasing him around for 13 to 17 years, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in this position because you did what was right. Somebody else get jealous of you. They got more power or status or have the ability to do so. And now because you've done what's right, not just for him, but for the nation, you know what I'm saying? Now you're basically destitute and homeless for 13 to 17 years. And I'm pretty sure he wondered, like, I know I'm anointed to be king, but how? And then here's the test, right? Where he got the drop on Saul twice and let him lay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could fix this situation by my own hand. But now as it currently stands, that's God's anointed. And it ain't no time period of when it's going to change. I know it'll change eventually because I have faith and I know what was anointed or prophesied over my life. That's why I be thinking, like, even in my own personal life, as I attempt to facilitate certain things, I can't break through until the Most High want me to break through, because it's in these, of course, I wish it was another way, but in these various seasons of spiritual long, or you got the antagonist continuing to antagonize, seemingly with no basis of truth, but somehow they're getting away with it. You can't do that because you'll get quickly reprimanded. You know what I'm saying? How are they able to get away with it? I just want it to be over. You know what I'm saying? I'm fighting for what's right, but somehow I'm getting negative consequence for doing what's right. I'm pretty spiritual long-windedness has like, I'm super great with people leaving or talking. Not because I don't really care, you know what I'm saying, in that respect. But then you think about it, it's like, God darn, like, and I understand the separation of the tares and the wheat and how I've been trending opposite of the world. Um, but sometimes it will, like, get to you. But at the same time, though, it's creating a strength and resiliency that makes the adversary attack you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you were of no threat, there'd be no reason to fool with you. You know what I'm saying? Now, people in the world lose jobs and so on and so forth, or whatever the case may be, but they don't tend to handle it the same way we do. They try to fit. Of course, you should practically do things, but first we go to the Most High with it. What do you want me to learn? Why is this happening? And a lot of times, just like, gosh, lose my train of thought here. Oh, with Job, after he restored him after his suffering, he didn't tell him why. because you belong to me and I do with you as I please. But ain't you right now though? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of time when, the breakthrough, the level up happens with me, a lot of time whatever was vexing to me prior to that, I done totally forgot about it. Like when I, was reimplanted in society, even though I wasn't locked up. He at the first part of my wilderness season, right, he turned the mirror around on me and showed me all my faults and flaws, right. Then this time, approximately a couple years ago, even though I wasn't locked up, when he reinserted me back into society, you understand me? He used other people as a mirror to show me what he was doing in darkness that what I wasn't aware of because I couldn't bounce it off nobody. You know what I'm saying? I can't see my empathy and compassion if I'm in isolation because there's no one really to be empathetic towards or whatever the case may be. I used to wonder, is my love growing cold? You know what I'm saying? Because now I got to protect myself. I got to be wise. I got to be socially discerning and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I got to keep people at arm's length or feed them with a long handled spoon, as they say, in wisdom and from understanding the world around me and the social jungle I find myself in spiritually. But at the same time, even though, like, with all that stuff I said aforementioned, I don't always know whatever on them people. Like, I actually feel sorry for them, and I'm actually concerned for them. Because they so hell-bent on you destroying your name or vexing you, hindering you to some degree. They don't even see the chess pieces being set up around them. Because they got a tunnel vision towards you, being led to destruction. You know what I'm saying? A certain humility comes with long suffering and the journey creating spiritual long-windedness. I'm always mindful to practice gratitude, even though whatever going on with me personally, which ain't nothing super spectacular, I just so desire the next level circumstantially in my situation. Not that my situation bad, but I want to become so evolved that nobody recognizes me. Or I want to be, fly so high up. Like if an eagle flying over top of my head, the way it fly, I can't pick up a rock off the ground and hit it. It won't, my arm ain't strong enough. I might throw it in the direction, but it's going to lose gas and fall back to the ground. Nowhere near the eagle. And it's unaware of it because it's so high up. It's just taking in the view or, 2 miles away. Oh, I see that fish over there. Let me swoop down and get him. You know what I'm saying? And had he not seemingly short-stopped my life all them years back, right, I wouldn't be able to function with the wisdom I got now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got, a few tricks up my sleeve that I can technically get the situation over with now. You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel like God wouldn't approve of it. You know what I'm saying? Even though in worldly sense, I'd be quite justified if I told anybody else. You know what I'm saying? And it would give me kind of the ego boost of like not destroying them, but letting them know you can't mess with me and I'm going to put you in the woo-wop and I know you can't handle it because you'll be too busy dealing with that blowout or blowback. You won't have time to fool with me and I'll get the psychological edge. Not to fool with me ever again. I'm tired of playing with you. But it will cause some collateral damage that I personally don't care about because it's war, right? But every time I be tempted to facilitate this particular move, I can't never go through with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry, yo. Like, that ain't the way to go about it. You know what I'm saying? I just had to wait this one out. And here it is with because seemingly when he walk you through stuff, like I've been in a situation in the courthouse or, various plots and schemes people done put together, right? And seemingly they got the game sewed up. There's no way out of it. But yet here I am. Nowhere near close to then what I am now from an understanding and wisdom perspective. You know what I'm saying? It just be my longings and desires to usurp these people or these situations or to start this business or to move to this place or to meet. Like, because and I heard somebody else say this, like, I'm kind of anti-social because, like, for the most part, the people I be around in my small town, they ain't really talking about nothing. But if I were to move and don't know where stuff is and, like, the newness of it and how that kind of sparks you up a little bit, I'll probably talk to everybody I run into, you know what I'm saying? Just to gather information or to soak up the the energy in the locale or immerse myself in this new culture of people, you know what I'm saying? Which I do find interesting. But I be saying this to y'all, saying it to myself at the same time. Just keep on keeping on. I know it get, and be thankful for what you do got. And a lot of times from what I see in a social observational standpoint, what's going on with these people in these social groups and friends and what, that stuff ain't real, bruh. That stuff ain't real. So why would you even want to be around? But I do have a longing for like-minded or like-spirited folk. Because people's like, I'm kind of reserved to a certain degree or whatever. But let me get around some people I feel spiritually comfortable with. I turn into Chris Tucker, yo. I get to, just kicking it, you know what I'm saying? Like a little kid almost. I keep you laughing. I always got some unorthodox perspective or something, you know what I mean? I'm always down to help the homies and the sisters, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about, baby, you know what I'm saying? I guess how they talk about, in order to become like, or to enter into the kingdom, you have to become like a little kid. I'm like, what that mean? I guess a little kid just trust, you know what I'm saying? Little kid just be like, oh, I guess the little kid's not overly worried about them eating or if they flip the switch, the light's gonna come on. And even if in situations, like I've never been through it, but even in situations where, maybe there wasn't no food in the home or whatever, somehow they just know because people always look out for a little child. You know what I'm saying? In the spiritual realm, I guess, the Most High is always going to look out for his children. You know what I'm saying? If you conduct yourself childlike, you know what I'm saying, in blind faith and blind obedience, like your parents tell you something, you just obey them, for the most part, but you don't understand what they talking about. I didn't. They used to hit me with these old cliches and whatnot. Like, what that mean? But I know what it mean, what I'm supposed to do, though. I don't intellectually understand it. But somehow I have some confidence. They know what they talk about, even though I don't understand what they just said. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be, maybe it's, you contemplating, I don't know, a change of career, or you weighing that up on the scale, or, such as my case, longing for, the next financial level, not just for the acquisition of fake fiat currency, but that it'll give me the ability to leverage it to obtain assets and resources that would make it harder for the system to impose itself on me. You know what I mean? Case in point, let's say, the price of eggs go up. I ain't never seen I guess they don't fool with electrons like that nowhere, but I ain't heard no Amish person or no farmer talk about egg shortage, you know what I'm saying? Because he grow and produce his own eggs, yo. That's my whole big thing, though. That's what I long for. You know what I'm saying? The ability to produce, you know what I'm talking about? My own energy, my own food. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, you darn near get rich or wealthy just doing that. Because the vast majority of your finance, especially with inflation, and how they use that to separate the families and drive the woman back to work, which I ain't got no problem with women working, but you know what I'm saying? How they flip mode squad that whole demonstration. If I can house myself outside of property tax, and if I can feed myself without having to buy a bulk of the food from the grocery store that's poison for the most part, you know what I'm saying, at overpriced, shucks, I can make minimum wage and get rich because my money standing in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? It's not how much you make, it's how much you get to keep. But they don't want you to keep nothing. Just like they're working these moves and plays through society to get you to not be able to keep your soul or to keep your mind. Because there's so much wacky, wild stuff going on. It's amazing. Here we got more planes coming out the sky. I've been seeing it last week. They had all these fires in South Carolina, supposed to make, the Smart Cities Initiative. Actually, it was wild. I live on what they call the Delmarva Peninsula, which is the area of eastern Maryland, the lower 2/3 of Delaware, until Delaware start getting more northernized and yankied out, and the eastern shore of Virginia, like you're going towards Virginia Beach, the Hampton Roads area, right? And for some odd reason, I've noticed an influx, or an increase rather, of structural fires. Not wildfire stuff. But I'm like, yo, what? And it's not because, like, I be hearing stuff in LA and Hawaii doing it and whatnot. I'm like, every time I look at the paper or I get these little emails about the news, some building always burning down or some structure always catching on fire. Why is everything burning up, yo? But I was talking to someone, they were saying how they're creating these fires, in rural areas to then herd people into these smart cities. And I don't know how that plan gonna work. I mean, they always got plans. They don't work out necessarily how they want to work out, but they work out good enough for them to be satisfied to run the next phase of their agenda. And that's kind of another thing, and that's another key component for me as far as, endurance, patience, trusting in the Most High, because I feel like I gotta beat the system. So I gotta hurry up, get this, hurry up, get that, learn this skill, pull this business play, whoop the whoop the whoop the whoop. And then sometimes when I feel stagnant in that respect, now I'm still growing spiritually, you know what I'm saying? Because it's in these places you learn certain things, right? When it comes to certain epiphanies and inklings, which is such as be still, which is counterintuitive of what my mind tells me. Yo, you need to hurry up, get this done, because if you don't get this done, you know what I'm saying, your legacy will be tarnished or your family's going to suffer, da-da-da, right? And I've always kind of been in that space to some degree, but I've seen them fold time up too. Yeah. So let me just trust in the Most High and not even my own intellect or even moving in haste or being anxious when the world starts worlding, because you can't keep up with all of it. And then here's a crazy thing. I was listening to SRBG, right? And he gave me some insight on, I don't know how, what to make up for myself personally, right? But I've been real forgetful. You know what I'm saying? Like I left my water bottle at the gym yesterday. I'm like, man, come on. Little stupid stuff. I left my water bottle at work. I had to stop by here Saturday and come get it, right? You know what I'm saying? And then I was talking to someone else, and they were talking about how like all the planets are lining up, and almost like the metaverse on Marvel, like worlds are merging and colliding. Now I don't know how true that is, but it might be various dimensions or time frames, or maybe coexisting at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I find all that stuff interesting. It might be though, cause I've been real forgetful. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I lose my train of thought. Like I said, periodically I'll go through total recall. Like I'll start remembering stuff I forgot about. Like, oh yeah, that happened. Almost in a spiritual heaviness, right? You know what I'm saying? Time seems to be speeding up. You know what I mean? Even faster than it was already moving. We're already a third of the way into March. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about spring now. It just seemed like it was New Year's. You know what I mean? So that'd be like, so time's speeding up, but let me slow down. Not slow down, but let me slow myself down to understand that with all the stuff I just said, it ain't like the Most High ain't get the email. You know what I'm saying? So if you're wherever you're at with it, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Like if I don't go through this long, arduous journey, now I got 4 years of sobriety today, right? But I've actually been trying to get it together genuinely since 2016. That's what, 9 years ago? But I only got 4 years, you know what I'm saying? And prior to this trip, I couldn't get 6 months of consistency, save my life before I reverted back to drugs and alcohol. But it was through the long suffering that I'm able to critique and talk about ad nauseum with genuine facts, because I went through this long arc. So I can talk about medical insurance fraud. I can talk about groupings of Negroes and be able to identify them for navigation purpose. I can talk about staying away from the Jezebel. But at first he made me invisible while he was setting up my internal alarm system. Now through the experience of spiritual long-windedness, eyeballs to a degree, but spiritual, I don't even want to be around them people. Like, I'll be totally honest. If I don't like being around you, or I don't find your energy fulfilling, and I like basking in it, ain't no way on earth we getting butt naked. I don't care how you look, because it's too dangerous. And through my long, arduous journey, I've seen other brothers take the drop because of lack of sexual discipline in that particular area. You know what I'm saying? That's probably a woman, the system, a man's greatest threat, to his forward progress in totality and holistically. And I think the woman's greatest threat isn't the man. It's the system that attempts to tell her what type of woman to be and how to operate. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you a decent job, decent sister, right? We all been bamboozled to some degree. You come out of it. You probably, first thing you come out, you go into isolation. Or your friends ain't the same, or they remove themselves, or whatever the case may be. I guess there is the time, like, you see other sisters who not like you or don't exhibit the qualities and characteristics that you hold, and you might seem invisible to the attractive mind. You might be attractive to. Then you wonder, like, okay, XYZ happened, like, where's my covering? Or, you know what I'm saying? I get it. It could be a temptation to, I don't want to say finesse, but women know how to get men if they like the man. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, at the very least, all you gotta do is talk to him and just act like what he say he like. The only thing is, if it's not truly genuinely in you, you won't be able to keep it up. You know what I'm saying? I wonder how the kingdom will work if we're all separated. And I don't know like what the percentages would be, but I'm assuming the vast, like if I gauge it through social media, same as the brother who, let's say, are spiritual, not perfect, but spiritually inclined, knowledgeable, have a larger presence on social media, some social status, some finance, right? For the most part, all them brothers single. So if we got the best of brothers single for whatever the reason, who do these brothers get with? If I'm of the belief that are more, let's say, more go your own way brothers than go your own way sisters, who they get with? You know what I'm saying? Like the numbers are off, you know what I'm saying? And then if they're more, let's say, chosen men, quote unquote, for lack of a better term, than chosen women, quote unquote, right? What do the other brothers do? We can't share no wild. Is it all right for us to go outside and get another race to bring them in as a wild branch into the flock? Like, how that work? But again, there I go intellectualize. We'll figure it out when we're supposed to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? We'll cross that bridge when the time come to it. But on that note, it's almost time for work. Let me check my time. Yeah. One love, baby. Let's go out there and be great. Hold up in the paint. Shemaz and them. Oh, and don't forget, cover your six. Ooh, ah.